Hey there, I'm Di, and today I'm going to be customizing Moriah Elizabeth mystery plushies. Moriah Elizabeth herself has customized her own plushies over on her channel. I actually love seeing what she does with her own, what I think are pretty perfect designs, but she makes them over and gives you guys ideas on what you can do if you get double ups. I think that's a fabulous idea, and another creator who thinks that's a great idea too is Creative Paula. So Creative Paula got a few YouTube artists together to create a limited series for you of YouTube artists customizing Moriah Elizabeth plushies. I would like to provide a disclaimer though, I am not trying to improve these, that's not gonna happen. It's just to have some fun and give you guys some inspiration if you've got some plushies you would like to customize yourself. Paula has given me a challenge on what I have to do for one of these plushies. So let's have a look together at the challenge she has set. I need to be able to hear.
Well, hello my friend. So I'm about to start customizing my plushies and I thought this would be a great moment to let you know what your challenge is gonna be. I know you're as happy as I am to have a friend all over on the other side of the world. So I thought in honor of that, you could use the colors of my country's flag in your customization. And to have a little bit of myself in it, would you mind putting an ice cream in there somewhere?
Yeah.
I know you can do it.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for participating in this. And I gotta tell you, getting invited to your collab was the best thing that happened to me on my YouTube career. I'm so incredibly grateful to you, Di, because now we've become friends and you've made this journey of being a YouTuber be less lonely and more exciting and interesting and fun. So good luck.
Thank you, Paula. Oh my goodness, you're more than welcome. I hope I can do justice to your prompts. So without further ado, let's get into this and see what I can make of Paula's prompts.
Okay, so we're going to start with the dessert series. Let's have a look. And we've got... okay, it is pickled in a cupcake form, I think. Yeah, it looks like a cupcake to me. Oh, he might be difficult. I don't know, maybe I can turn him into an ice cream cone rather than a cupcake. But let's see what we have got from the Colour Splash series. These, oh my goodness, these are so cute. There's so many in there that I want. And we have an upside down pumpkin, puppy, pump. Oh, what's its name? Pumpy the pumpkin, I think it is. Okay, this one, it's cute. I don't know, I think I can do something with this. And the last one is another Colour Splash. Let's see who we got. It's blue. It's Derp. Oh my goodness, I love Derp. And he's rainbow Derp. Oh no. Oh no, oh no, oh no. I'm really saying oh no because I don't want to customize him. I don't want to touch him. He's too perfect. Well, I suppose I better come up with something. Let's do this. I wanted to create the challenge plushie first. I came up with a design for both Rainbow Derp and Cupcake Pickle using Paula's prompts. I didn't really want to customize Derp as I love him so much as he is. However, I was struggling to come up with anything interesting for the Cupcake Pickle. So in the end, after much internal debate and some advice from the rest of the artists participating in this series, I'm gonna turn Derp into a 50s style ice cream man. To start, let's remove that tag. Then give him a little calming cuddle as I tell Derp to take a nice, long, deep breath before covering him in cling film. Might seem like an odd thing to do, but not for me. You see, I've watched videos of people making costumes and they will wrap themselves in cling wrap, then cover that in tape to give themselves a basis for a pattern that will be the right size. Probably overkill and completely unnecessary for this type of project, but I've actually tried to do this before when I was making my husband some fake leather boots for a costume, and I failed big time. So I want to prove to myself that I can do this, even if it is for a plushie. Once I have marked out a basic vest shape on the tape, I cut it out. I only need half of it as I will cut 2 pieces from the same stencil. I lay those flat onto paper, cut around the pieces and stick them all back together. I do this paper version first so that I can try it on Derp and make sure it's going to fit before I go making it out of material. And it actually looks like a pretty good fit, with just a little trim here and there. I then transfer those pieces to a nice stripy red and white fabric, ensuring I add just a little bit for seams and the hem. I had it in my head I wanted to hand stitch the whole thing. There really wasn't much to sew, but even that was too much for me apparently. I just don't enjoy sewing. Once the pieces have been connected with some very dodgy stitches, I do another fitting before closing the back piece. And lucky I did it this way because it's not gonna fit and I need to add in a small panel at the back. Before I do that though, I work on the bottom hem to neaten it up. Instead of using an iron to get the fold lying flat, I use a hair straightener and get a nice crisp straight line without burning my fingers. It's not a bad little hack. I'm also throwing away the needle and thread and use tacky glue to seal the seam shut. I wouldn't go using this method for adult clothing, but for a toy, it seems it's not going to get handled or washed, the tacky glue is a brilliant option. It's flexible, quite strong, and dries pretty quick. I use the same tacky glue to add in that back panel, and it's an almost invisible join. I also use a bit of the glue around the inside of the armhole so it doesn't fray. For Derp's little hat, I found a pattern on Pinterest. I'm not really sure who made it as it was in another language, and like with the vest, I made a paper version first to make sure the size would be right. And as this pattern was in another language, I didn't have any instructions to follow, so I just guessed. I made some errors, like the lines on the hat don't match up, which I can't really blame that on the language barrier, that was just me error. And I made it too small for his big poof head. So I made another one off camera to try and fix the problems, and while the size was better and the look of it was better, the line still didn't match up. But I'm not making a third one, so close enough's good enough. The last clothing item to make is a little bow tie. I have some thick red felt that I cut a rough bow shape. Then I use some glue and a bull clip to pinch the middle together, and this will help create a nice little fold in the felt so it's not just sitting completely flat. Then I cut out a small strip of felt, wrap it around the middle, and glue it all together using that bull clip again to hold it in place while it dries. With all the costume pieces done, it's time to get to the part that I'm dreading the most, and that is painting him. First, I taped him up, and seems Derp was feeling a little traumatised at the prospect of being painted, I relaxed him with some nice acupuncture. I really debated painting him at all. I love his rainbow tummy and spine so much, and I really wanted to leave them alone. But I also needed to get the 3 colours from the Ecuador flag onto this design. And I didn't want to just cop out by adding a few dots or something using the colours. I really wanted them to be an essential part of the design. I did, however, mix up slightly lighter versions of the blue, red and yellow, as I wasn't too keen to go full potency of the primary colours. I did do a test paste off camera, and where the blend was happening between the colours, it was looking really murky. So I use a thin strip of white between the colours so the paint is not creating secondary colours where the join happens. But I was feeling like I was copping out on Paula's challenge a bit by using lightened versions of the colours. So I went over them again with the pure colours, and I wish I'd just left it alone. It's too bright. Oh, well, it is what it is. For the tummy patch, I went for just blue and created a slight gradient so the bulging part of his belly is lighter. Not that I'm saying you're fat, Derp, just a generous girth, like me. After I painted his splotches yellow, I was able to remove the tape and see how much of that paint made a mess on his fabric. And shock horror, it stayed pretty darn clean along the tape line. Although that fabric paint has made his lovely soft spines very crusty. Ugh, poor little crusty Derp. For the final accessory and to finish off the ice cream prompt, I used some white flexible foam to make Derp a little... Well, I don't really know what the name for this thing is, but it's the holder where all his ice creams get put so he can walk around selling them. Not that I'm sure he'll sell that many, he'll probably eat most of them. For the ice creams, I made them out of felt and teeny tiny pom-poms. All that is left to do is dress Derp and assemble his little items, using glue here and there to keep it all in place.
And here he is, all done. I do think he looks cute. I do think he looks like a ice cream man. I still wish I had not covered up the spines, all his beautiful rainbow. But more than that, all the hard work I did trying to get the blend of the red and the yellow and the blue and really use that prompt from the Ecuador flag, and it's covered up by his hat and his vest. Oh well. So Paula, I hope you're happy with what I did with your prompts. But speaking of prompts, I have to give a challenge prompts to the creator that is coming after me. I'm not going to reveal who the creator is until the end of this video, but I wonder if you can guess who it is by me revealing one of the challenges that I have set for her. The challenge that I've given the next creator is based on a shared interest we have, and that is our love for the series of Harry Potter. So I have asked her to give her plushie a Wizarding World inspired makeover. And do you know what? If you think you can guess who the next creator is by just that, leave a comment down below if you think you know who it is. And then at the end of the video, you can see if you're correct. But for now, let's move on to the next plushie.
I want to modify Pumpy the Pumpkin. Even though I'm not using the challenge prompts for this one, I still want to give it a Paula-esque flavour, so to speak. And since Paula is from Ecuador and she is very proud of her country, I'm going to turn the pup into an animal that is found only in Ecuador. And it's an animal Paula has drawn herself. At least I think she did. I'm sure I'm remembering this correctly. Anyway, it's the Viscacha.
Viscacha.
And I hope I'm pronouncing that right.
Viscacha.
And he's pretty darn cute. To start with though, I'm turning the pumpkin into a cactus. You know, those ball-shaped ones. A simple coat of green fabric paint should do the trick. As I paint it, I see that if I paint down, I get a nice smooth finish. But if I brush upwards, the fabric fibres stand on end and poke out. It seems cacti are prickly. I'm gonna brush upwards and let it dry that way. At some point during this, I added a darker green along the crevice seam lines and white on the more bulging areas, but you can barely even tell. To paint the little cap, I tape off his head completely to try and save him from any further contamination of green paint. Then use that same green to cover the orange. He's looking so weird. While Pumpy dries, I want to make some flowers for the cactus. I use a felt strip and cut lots of little strips into the fabric, but not all the way to the end. They need to stay joined. Then in a different colour, I do the same thing, but make it smaller this time. To secure it, I use tacky glue along the edge that's not cut and carefully roll it up. Then place the smaller one on the bigger one and keep rolling. Securing it with a lucky band makes it easy for drying, and then I make two smaller ones. One of the defining features of a Viscacha is the ears. Well, I think it's one of the defining features anyway. I use felt again for this. Do you know what? Most of the materials I've used for these makeovers I've had on hand. I think the only thing I had to buy was the striped material for Derp. Everything else is crafty supplies I've had sitting in my drawers for years, wondering if I'd ever use them again. And so many times I've come close to getting rid of the lot. I did donate quite a lot of it when I did a big cleanup of my art room a while back, but I did hold on to some of it for, you know, just in case. And finally, for this project, just in case came. I want to thank Paula for asking me to be a part of this collaboration project. It's been really fun doing these makeovers. They were pretty easy to do once I figured out a design, and it's nice working with other creators. I know I do quite a few collabs here on this channel, but YouTube can be a lonely and isolated little occupation, and I thrive on working with people, sharing creativity, bouncing ideas off others, and just working together towards a common goal, and then rejoicing together at what's been created together. So I don't know what you guys think of these collabs, but I don't plan on stopping anytime soon, and so I really do hope you like them too. Anyway, it's time to finish off this odd-looking Versace
Viscacha.
by attaching all the pieces. With a species change, I think Pumpy is well and truly gone. So let's name her Ellie? Ellie the Ecuadorian Versace. I hope you like her, Paula.
I'm not sure that she actually looks like a Versace, the Versace.
Viscacha.
But she does remind me of a certain other character I've seen from an old movie. I wonder if you remember this character from Spaceballs. She's she just seems a bit extra, really, especially the fluffy ears. I had a lot of fun making these guys over, but for now, I would like to know if you all guessed who the next creator is. It is none other than the queen of all that is dark and horror art.
That would be me.
Ashley Monet. We both love the Harry Potter series, and that's why I asked her to give her plushie a Wizarding World makeover. But there is a second part to this challenge. I'm not going to reveal what it is here. You're going to have to wait until next Sunday when Ash will release her video and you'll get to see what she does with both her prompts. And after Ash, there are still 5 more creators in this limited plushie series, and I hope you'll join me in watching all their videos. But that's all I've got time for today. I hope to see you next time.